30-minute reviews, beware of spoilers, and exploring hyperspace lanes are all available ad-free. But if you want to support the show, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com and click the support button that's available on the Spotify website. Thank you. Good morning, or afternoon. Yeah, afternoon. It's 4 o'clock, and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. I just recorded this week's 30-minute reviews episode, and I'm headed to pick something up. I have just seen The Zone of Interest, which is continuing my quest, as usual, like every year, to see as many of, if not all of, the movies that are nominated for Best Picture in a given year. Well, this year I will see all of them, and I think I've seen all of them in the last few years. But really, not just that. In this case, it's movies. I try to see all the movies that are nominated for an Oscar. That's not always possible due to availability. Like this year, Robot Dreams isn't even coming out until May. So good for them getting that Oscar, despite the movie not coming out until May of this year. But, we'll see. The issue is, this year they did not hold the short screenings that I usually go to. Like, every year, if you look at the past of the feed, you'll see there's an episode every, late February where it's, ranking the nominees for Best Live Action Short, ranking the nominees for Best Animated Short. This year, my theater didn't offer those, and I wasn't driving all the way to the city to see them, so we're not doing that this year. We will be doing, on Sunday of next week, the day of the Oscars, we'll be doing a little discussion of the shorts that are available on streaming as I go through them. But regardless, here we are. And looking at the idea that, looking at Zone of Interest, after watching this movie, I think this is the clear frontrunner for international feature, and I stand by that. I said that last week after seeing Anatomy of a Fall, which also starred Sandra Hüller, who was also in this movie. This was this movie is going to win Best International Feature because it was nominated for Best Picture. That tends to go hand in hand. If your movie is nominated for Best International and Best Picture, you tend to win Best International. So I think this is going to end up winning that. And I think this movie is really good. I think that it does a lot of, I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but 10, 15 years ago on Tumblr, there was a post that went around. It was this video of Hitler, being a regular guy. It was a home video of Hitler, flirting with someone or acting like a normal person. And there was a comment that's this video makes me deeply uncomfortable. And then the comment that went viral was, yeah, it makes you uncomfortable because we like to view people who are evil as the purest version of evil. They have nothing to them beyond the evil, and they are just this thing. Wake up, we're going to exterminate all the Jews, we'll go back to sleep. That's the people like to view it because there's no ambiguity. There's no, in the same way that they dehumanize, it dehumanizes the evil and makes it easier to hate the evil by saying that. It also makes it easier to identify. If you say that the person who's pure evil is going to be the person who's going to be doing this with 100% of their being. And it's this idea that, it should make you uncomfortable because it challenges your idea of what evil can look like. Evil can look normal. And that's what this movie is entirely about. This is about a family of the commander who is running Auschwitz. And it's this family that is living adjacent to Auschwitz. Not in the same town as Auschwitz, not in, not near Auschwitz, not, in the same country. No, this is, they share a wall with the wall of Auschwitz, and they live there. And it's this family it's kind of a slice of life story, where it's like this idea of like, what's this family doing as they're living their lives in World War II Germany, and they just so happen to be Nazis who are running the concentration camp, but they look normal beyond that. If you don't, it is a truly sinister look at evil, and it's played so well by the actors. I mean, I think of Hulu's two performances this year, I think this one's better between this and Anatomy of a Fall. I get why she got nominated for Anatomy of a Fall, because she did great work there. Here it's more of a supporting role, but she it's just fantastic. She's just fantastic here. The other guy, also really good. I forgot his name. I didn't write it down. But really great at playing, both sides. And it's like, it's this thing where it's like, we're going to get up, we're going to have lunch, we're going to, do all this, all this stuff. Oh, we're going to swim with the family. Oh, we're going to have a little picnic. Oh, we're going to do this. And now we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about the, building the extermination materials in Auschwitz. And then we're going to go back to, we're going to go have a nice little party in the garden. We're going to go swimming in the pool. And the thing that works so well about it is that there's almost no score to the movie. There's just this, the constant din of the muffled din of what's going on the other side of the wall at the same time. As you're sitting there going through this, eating family dinner, reading to your kids as they're going to bed, and all that stuff. It's just on the other side of the wall, the screaming, the gunshots, the sounds and the visuals of them using the incineration rooms, I guess would be the right word for it. And for that to work as well as it does means so much. And there's a reason why, as I'm watching this movie, there's a reason why every time Jonathan Glazer and other people involved win the war, they're like, hey, look, this is not just a Nazi thing. This is happening now. And you look at it, you're like, oh, shit, this is what's going on right now in Israel and Gaza with the Israelis to the Palestinians. Like, it's this idea of, like, we're just gonna, like, we have our nice little life here, and for us it's all normal, but for them, we are, we're, like, it's just on the other side of that wall, look at what's happening, and we can turn a blind eye to it. And it's a horrifying look at what humanity can do. And it is so well executed that it's just, bravo for managing to pull it off and not having it feel exploitative or having it feel weird or anything like that. It's just so well done, this movie. I don't think it's going to take home too much beyond that one award. I think it will take home Best International Feature, but was Jonathan Glazer nominated for Best Director? I don't think he wins, and I don't think it wins Best Picture. I think Best Picture is locked to Oppenheimer at this point. But yeah, it's very well executed. Zone of Interest, and the issue is A24 has obviously not known how to distribute this movie because, like, it came out, it debuted at, was it Cannes or was it Berlin? Or was it Venice? It was one of those. I don't remember which. It was Venice or Cannes or Berlin where this movie initially debuted. And it's this, and it got accolades, and then it did the festival circuit. And again, this is another one, like Robot Dreams, like Anatomy of a Fall, like American Fiction, where I could have seen the movie in, at the Hamptons Film Festival, and I didn't. I saw Fancy Dance instead, which I would recommend. If there's a way to watch that, which I don't know that there is, check out Fancy Dance. That movie is very good. But yeah, I would look. I'm just saying, this is hands down one of the strongest. This is one of the best. Like, this is something, kind of a trend we're exploring recently: the banality of evil, the idea that evil does not have to take the floor. And I was talking to someone about it recently, where it's like this idea that, like, we have a Nazi problem and a fascism problem in America where it is gradually on the rise. And I think part of the issue is Hollywood has given a very, not very nuanced look at fascism. We glorify the end where, not glorify the end of fascism, but glorify the result where the Americans come in and defeat the Nazis. But we don't talk about, there's no nuance to, well, how did the fascism rise? What were the contributing factors that led to this happening? And the people behind it, what were they? Who were they? And they were people. Let's acknowledge them as people, and not this evil force that kind of mesmerized the entire, the entirety of a nation into being, okay, we are doing, we're just gonna be the Nazis now. It's like they didn't wake up one morning and like, all right, now we're gonna exterminate everyone. It's like, no, it was a gradual thing that happened over a long period of time, and it took a long time to get to that point. We Hitler's reign was 33, I think, to 45. We only really talk about 41 to 45 though when we in America, because the rest of it, who cares? That's important context though. How we get here, and it makes it so that way when we point to things that are happening in real life, and are like, these are warning signs for what could come down the line. You get dismissed as alarmist. You get dismissed as, oh, you're just being ridiculous. This is not, this isn't fascism. There's no, troops walking down the street, stepping. No, it's, we have to acknowledge evil where evil exists, and things like this, and things like, we talked about it, like the what was it, the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, where it's like, we talk about what contributes to someone being radicalized. And to an extent, I mean, you can argue Joker is that too, where it's like, what causes someone to fall into these trappings? And these are all important questions that should be addressed. If we want to stop this from happening, we have to address the root causes. Not address the specific grievances and be like, well, you know what, maybe they have a point. But figure out a way to get it so that people aren't falling down these thought rabbit holes that are, built on the back of incorrect or maladaptive thinking. And to that end, I mean, I think that's where we'll wrap up for today on this. I mean, this is one of those movies that I feel is important, and it should be watched by a lot of people, and it will eventually come to Max as part of their A24 deal. But I feel like this is a movie that should be watched by as many people as possible in the near future. I think it is impactful, not just for American domestic policy, but for international policy, considering where we are right now with this genocide going on in the Middle East as we speak, and we're kind of just stuck watching it in real time and just powerless to stop it. Isn't it great, the current era we live in? It's just fantastic. But we'll wrap up there for today. So tomorrow morning we'll talk about Maestro. Tuesday morning we'll talk about Naiad. Thursday morning we'll talk about The Bad Batch. And we'll be back with that stuff later this week. Tomorrow morning a new episode of 30-Minute Reviews goes up. Tuesday morning we have a new episode of the Backlog Files. Wednesday morning a new episode of Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. So until our next episode of whichever podcast you want to listen to, have a great rest of your week.